Hey guys, back again. This time I'm going to talk about American Assassin, which, as a whole, is pretty generic and bland, but I'd say, in terms of the supporting characters, I thought that this movie was more immensely entertaining than it should have been because of the supporting actors involved. But first, let me talk about the main character, though, Dylan O'Brien's character, who the story revolves around him because his girlfriend gets shot, and he goes and becomes an assassin and tries to right the wrongs of that happening. And Dylan O'Brien, I thought, was fine in the role, but I thought as an action star, I don't think he works well because it's mean to say, but he's a string bean. He's not a person who is big and muscular, and I don't feel like you need that as in an action star, but I feel like it helps and is more convincing because it looks like this guy, like you could just knock him over because he doesn't look like he's that strong. And it's mean to say on his part, and I don't mean offense to him, but it's just, it feels like it doesn't work as that kind of thing in terms of him being an action hero, because he doesn't look like he's the type. Like, for me personally, I didn't think that he worked as the type. But as the acting goes, I thought he was really fine. I thought that the opening scene really actually gripped me. Something I didn't expect. The whole movie didn't grip me, but the opening did. I thought that it was great. And you've seen this in the trailer where he's on the beach, girlfriend gets shot, and it really is emotional. I think that it really works, and it really sucked me into the movie. It really, really sucked me into it. But I didn't feel like afterwards it worked. But the beginning I thought was actually really, really touching and emotional, and it actually pulled me in a way that I didn't expect. And then, so Dylan O'Brien's okay, and I thought he did bring, as an actor, he was fine. He just didn't look the part for me, and I thought that in terms of the supporting cast, though, Michael Keaton is in this movie, and he is awesome as this badass trainee guy who, by the end of the movie, whenever he gets tortured, he goes full-on Michael Keaton, where he just is over the top, screaming and reacting in this situation to these guys torturing him, and I loved it. I thought that he really, even though tonally this movie is very serious, he, quote-unquote, ruins it in terms of being more over the top. But I don't mean ruined it in a bad way at all. I just mean he brought a sense of life into the movie. He brought a sense of how this movie is a very dire, serious movie, and some movies work really well that are serious, but this one, besides the opening, it didn't grip me afterwards. And I thought whenever Michael Keaton was back on screen, it actually helped because he was being Michael Keaton, being his crazy self, and I love him for that. I thought that it was really great whenever he's on the screen. But like I said, it quote unquote changes the tone of the movie, but it makes it way more entertaining instead of just being a really kind of dire movie. And then the other supporting actress, the woman, I don't know how to pronounce her name, but she was the Alexa Woods in Alien vs. Predator. And she is kind of like the person who helps the main character out in this movie. And she is straight up, she's not like Michael Keaton, she's straight up serious. But I really liked her performance, because it's not anything that she could really do much with. But I thought that her performance was actually, I just liked her. I liked how serious she was. And I just said that the movie is too serious, but I thought that she just seemed kind of like a badass, even though she didn't do anything. Just like how in Alien vs. Predator, I thought she was a badass, the way she spoke to people and the way she took charge and told them. And she kind of does that in this movie, where she does talk. The way she talks is interesting. I just thought she really was convincing. but I thought her and Michael Keaton, in two different ways, in two different, tonally different ways, were really fun supporting characters. And I thought that Dylan O'Brien was fine, just didn't lick the role. And the story itself is just really generic. It's just a revenge plot. Person the love of a person's life gets killed, goes on revenge to right the wrongs of what they did. So pretty much the story is just a story you've seen a billion times. But Michael Keaton and the woman, I don't know how to pronounce her name, they really do bring the movie up a little for me. It's not a great movie, and even if they were gone out of this movie, I thought it would be a way worse movie. And you could argue having Michael Keaton overact in this movie made it worse because tonally it makes it different, but I thought that he brought a lot to it, and I thought that in terms of if they were not there, if those two actors weren't there, then this movie would have really sucked. And I think that as is, it's got a, if they weren't in it, it had a great opening scene that gripped me and got me, but then the rest of the movie is boring. But overall, it's bland, but the supporting cast really actually makes it better. In more ways than one. It really works for me. But overall, the movie was not great, but it wasn't one that I hated because of, like I said, adding these supporting actors. So overall, just, it was very meh. It wasn't anything that I will remember. I'll never see it again. So yeah, American Assassin was just whatever. It wasn't anything. Thanks guys so much for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.